that the capacity development plan is good to implement. Now that we have the master trainers on board, we have the e-learning now by Dr. Esther Mwindi, who is here. We have Dr. Agole now again continuing to support capacity development from the hub. We have the master trainers from Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania on board. We have Lucy Mwangi. I think she will join. She's based in Rwanda. She's the one now helping us with the issues of strategy and policy in the field school. Therefore, the team has expanded, and we want to consolidate this effort also by having regular meetings. So this morning, Dr. Agole will be sharing more about the capacity development plan and the vision, how we can be able to share this and to our fraternity. I'm also happy to see our very sincere good brother, our partner Sebastian is online. He has joined this meeting. This gives us a very good link again to link with him as a consistent person, supporter of the field school. So with this now, let me welcome you and hand you back to Edwin to briefly introduce Dr. Agole, and we take off. Then also we have later on master trainers sharing experiences. And we had also requested Nathan to talk about a mail, but that will be later. We agree based on the time. We have already lost about 20 minutes. So we need to be strict with the time that we have for colleagues that want to join and go to other. To you, Edwin.
Once again, members, good morning. We are welcome to this weekly webinar series. But this weekly webinar series is unique in the sense that this is the journey we started way back in February this year. Before we embarked on engaging different country teams, we had already consulted Dr. Agole to look into the capacity needs of the hub. And since February this year, he was in touch with different program coordinators, particularly the investment managers, a number of seasoned master trainers, number of organizations or private sector that employs the farmer field schools approach. And I can tell you for a fact, he has generated a very great document, lot of wealth of experience. Actually, it should be made into a publication, Max. Should come up as a book. So what Dr. Agole today is going to share with us are basically some of the extracts from all these studies that he's been doing since February, and also his own personal observation. He's been attending this personal, this weekly webinar meetings, and he's been interacting with different master trainers at different forums. So I will not take much of your time. I'll just straight ahead go ahead and invite Dr. Agole, and please take over from there.
Thank you so much, Edwin. I appreciate the elaborate introduction. I have a challenge. My battery is warning, and we don't have electricity this morning in the office in the entire university. And I'm also maybe to my phone at a certain time when the battery runs out or powers off. So you'll bear with me a bit. So I would like to take you a bit the background of this capacity needs assessment. you said the essence of the farmer field school methodology is simply to build the capacity of its participants or of its actors.
Ibra.
Edwin, am I the one who is lost, or Dr. Agole is off? Hello?
I'm saying we seems to have lost Dr. Agole.
Maybe if his battery was already warning, so he can actually present using his phone.
That's what I asked him. I told him to do it as a backup.
Yeah. Sheikh and JP, you could do
Yes.
away with your video so that we reduce the bandwidth on the
bandwidth.
the
So
Okay,
that you
okay, thanks. Okay.
Yeah.
just mute your videos.
We love you.
Even
You
Adam.
are very handsome this morning
Oh
with
yeah,
the night.
thank you. Noted.
Thank you. Okay. Adhan, do away. Toa hiyo video.
Tumetoa.
Sawa, asante. Nashukuru sana.
Karibu.
I think it will be well now.
Now it is okay.
Is joining using the phone. I'm not going to call him again because it will disorganize. So I think what we do is to give him some time while well, Nathan,
yes, please.
if you just want to talk without any presentation about the mail, just your perspective while we wait for Dr. Agole. Just few things, some 5
Okay.
minutes. Yeah.
That's okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes. So we are supposed to present to you about the mail framework. This we've prepared for it next week, but let me just give a highlight of what is captured in the framework so that as we prepare for next week, we are able to know what exactly we shall be discussing about. So briefly.
Sorry, Nathan. Now that Dr. Agole is here, we give him a chance before he runs away.
Okay.
Dr. Agole, you could actually do even without a video so that you have stability in the internet and other things. So you could just present without your video, please.
Okay, Dr. Agole, take over. No, just remove the video, Dr. Agole. Only share your screen. Eh?
He signed. He did not sign well. He signed using video. So I think what you do, Dr. Agole, you sign off, then you resign using audio, because we can't see your mic. It's a sign that you really signed in using video. You could do. leave the meeting, then you join using the audio. Oh.
Dr. Agole, how can we help? Wow. I think, Nathan, maybe proceed first while Dr. Agole is sorting out the connection issues. We really don't want to waste more time than this.
Okay. Thank you so much, Edwin. Like I started earlier on, we have developed a monitoring, evaluation, and learning framework for the farmer field schools. Now, this framework is mainly developed to improve the processes of monitoring and evaluation under the farmer field school activities. And we are looking at issues to do with data collection, data analysis, utilization of the results, and so on and so forth. So FAO led this process, the process of developing this framework. Various stakeholders participated. I'm very sure that some of you who are right now in this series also took part in that workshop. The workshop drew various stakeholders represented by the NGOs, academia, and government representatives, and these were drawn from 12 countries across the region. So the framework is developed to encompass mainly 4 domains under which the farmer field school operates. We have the human domain, the social domain, the natural domain, and the financial domain. Now, under each of these domains, a result area is presented, and the result areas in 4 main result definitions, we are looking at the impact, the outcome, the output, but all these are built from a skills perspective. Now, indicators are then developed under each of these domains, and the framework is mainly built from these result areas, and of course it has indicators. Now, I'll briefly give you an highlight of the domains and the specific results that are captured under each domains, and of course then next week we shall talk in detail about the indicators. Now, when we look at, I earlier on stated that the framework is built mainly on 4 domains. The human domain begins with looking at the skills, and the skills that we are interested here in are the analytical skills. These analytical skills will lead us into the outputs, and these outputs want to see the creativity of the participants and the innovative ability of the participants. Now, once that has come out as an output, Then we look at this should lead us to an outcome, and the outcome under that should look at the mindset of the participants to make improvements, and their means, the ability of the participants in farmer field schools to be able to make improvements in whichever interventions the farmer field school is promoting, and that eventually should lead us to farmers being empowered. So those are the 4 result areas under the human domain. When we go into the social domain, we build it from a communication perspective. So we are looking that the participants of the farmer field schools should be able to have communication skills. These communication skills should be able to lead to trust, mutual respect, group planning of the participants under the farmer field schools. And then that should lead us to, we should be able to see changes in gender roles, maybe at household and community level, and then mainly issues to deal with the collective action of the participants to take up most initiatives. And then eventually that should lead us to we should be able to see good cooperation at household level and community level as an impact under that social domain. Going into the natural domain, we are building it from the ability of the participants to be able to analyze, internalize, and manage agro-ecosystem processes. That should be able to lead us to the participants being able to experiment with the adapted practices under the field school initiatives, and that should be able to lead us to improved food production, crop diversification, and the eventual goal that we want to see is the sustainability of production systems. Under the financial domain, we are mainly building it on the ability of the participants to have skills in cost-benefit analysis, marketing skills, market research, and so on and so forth. If the participants of farmer field schools have built those skills, then that should be able to lead to issues to do with increased profits of their ventures. And if they have increased profits, then they should be able to have things related to access to credit, loans, and so on and so forth. And we should be able to say that farmers have financial security. So the framework is designed based on 2 critical tools, the theory of change. We shall present that in detail next week, as well as the log frame matrix. We shall be sharing a document which has all these 2 tools, the theory of change and the log frame matrix. But the theory of change mainly presents the logic of interventions and how they lead to achievement of the broader objective that we want to see, while the log frame matrix demonstrates the details of how the inputs interact logically, which should be able to lead us to the outputs that have already the outputs, outcomes, and impacts that I've already highlighted in the 4 domains. But also the framework also has a learning agenda, because we are calling it monitoring, evaluation, and learning framework. So it has a learning agenda, and the learning agenda mainly ensures that the results from all the M&E processes, the work that is captured, we're able to see that there's feedback into the program implementation activities, and broadly results are shared with the various stakeholders. And then the last section that this framework captures is, of course, we should be able to report on the results. It is expected that once there is any farmer field school activity or intervention, then we should be able to report the processes and detail that in a report, and share lessons and experiences widely with the various stakeholders. So briefly, that's what I wanted to highlight about the framework. We have a session next week where we shall give a detailed presentation of the framework and how actually we can be able to use it for farmer field school activities. Thank you very much. Back to you, Edwin.
Thank you, Nathan. So members, apologies if it was just done in a theoretical way. We're going to have a full session of the monitoring, evaluation, and learning guide next Wednesday. So I think, Dr. Agole, you are now set to present. All you need to do,
Yes.
study, don't just remove your video, just share your presentation only, so that it will not affect your bandwidth.
No, I sent Edwin. I sent the presentation. I sent the presentation to you, so you can actually share it with the the participants while I'm talking. So as I'd started, yeah. Sorry for that.
Okay, proceed, please. Patrick, you'll have to mute your video, please.
I am using a smartphone. How do I mute?
Just the camera.
Remove the video, Patrick, because we are now getting hungry. You are eating.
Edwin?
Yes?
Edwin?
Yes, Dr.
Edwin?
Yes, Dr.
Either
Edwin?
you stop eating, but you can remove the video.
Don't mind. If it's difficult to share the video, don't mind.
No,
because it's getting up on my battery now. The battery is running. Yeah.
Please proceed. I'm sharing the video now.
It's okay. So I was giving the background of the farmer field of the capacity needs assessment that every organization wants to deliver effective service to its clients or its participants. Yeah, but it's very important that those who deliver the service have the capacity beyond what the beneficiaries of the service expect. And therefore, a lot of questions have been raised about the capacity of the investment projects to deliver these feelings.
Hey.
And of course, this is manifested with the in the performance of the field. Hello? 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 But this was manifested. And therefore, this called for this study to be conducted. So in this study was conducted in all the countries that are in the East African hub. You could be seeing in the statistics there in the bar graph presented. Yeah, and the questions that we wanted to dig out or to address included whether these investment projects were using farmer field school as a methodology, what nature of training were they using, what nature of capacity building processes were they using, and what could be the capacity building needs or gaps that exist in these programs. So we developed two questionnaires. Remember, there are two target groups. One is the East African, two actors. One is the field school trainers and facilitators, and the other one is the managers of the investment programs. So initially, we sent about 280 emails that we received because we got the email from AFAS, which of course acted as our sampling frame. We sent those emails to the field school trainers and facilitators. And then also sent 11 emails to the 11 program investment managers. Out of the 280 emails sent to the trainers, we only 220 were able to reach them, which means the others were either the emails were either blocked or the emails were inactive, so they didn't reach them. So in our methodology, we had indicated that we needed the 15% of the respondents. So if you look at a sample that sample size of 220, the 15% would be about 33 respondents. However, when we send the emails, about 35 were able to respond. So to us, that was good enough to go ahead with the data and analyze it. Yeah, the 15% was good enough. So the analysis, however, indicated that I'm not talking about the findings. The findings indicated that yes, the investment programs are using field school methodology, but there were a lot of problems in the training and the investment, I mean, and the evaluation and monitoring of these training activities. And you see, and that's where the big problem is. As I stated at the background, the essence is to build the capacity of the participants. In this case, these actors are the master trainers, I mean the field schools, but now we are using the master trainers because they are closely associated with the field schools. The investment projects officials use master trainers and the facilitators to build the capacity of these field school trainers. That's why field school, that's why we zeroed on the master trainers. So the training, the findings indicate that when asked whether they had any capacity gaps that they require in their training, they indicated yes. Most of them said yes. Actually, almost 100%, ranging from 80 to 100%, yes, they had the gaps. And when asked about the level of the gaps they had, these gaps included, we looked at the methodology. So we looked at from formation of groups to ISR, conducting ISR, conducting monitoring and evaluation, including other trainings like action planning and so on. Yeah, they indicated that there were gaps, especially in particular areas, and this include formation of groups was the big problem. There were issues there, and then there were issues in the action planning. There were issues in training and marketing, and then also there were issues in conducting ISA, that is agroecological system analysis, and then there were also issues in marketing and value addition, meaning that those areas were less attended to in the training programs. And if you are a farmer field school trainer or facilitator, you know that those are very critical areas. Without effective delivery or capacity building activities or training those areas, it will show a lot of inadequacies in the training. And therefore, coming back to the capacity development plan, it is critical that those areas are emphasized during training. Very emphasized during training. And we looked at it by virtue of the level of trainers. Most of the trainers, of course, were farmer field school trainers, extension farmer field school trainers, because you can have extension farmer field school trainers, and then you can also have the farmer field school trainer, the community based. But the majority of them were the extension farmer field trainers. And you know the challenge that most of extension farmer field trainers, besides working with the extension, they are doing other works. And Dr. Muinde knows this, that most of them are lecturers, professors in universities, in tertiary institutions. So they're engaged in other activities. And therefore, when there's a need to work in the communities, there can be a gap on who should deliver the training in the communities. And this may create a gap that the investment programs may end up relying on other personnel that may either have inadequacies in field school training or may not at all have any training in field school methodology. And those can create a lot of problems in the training, and therefore the output that we may realize in the field schools participants or farmers. Yes, and then Therefore, to address that kind of thing, we call for a development plan that aggressively and urgently tries to build the capacity of the community-based farmer field school facilitators to make the training and capacity building processes sustainable, because those are members of the community. They understand their communities, they know the challenges of their communities. And then in this case, the extension master trainers and others could probably play a role of backstopping or coming in to supplement the training that is offered by the other category that is community-based. Yes, and the other problem is, the other recommendation would be our capacity development plan that would have a strategy. It would be good to build an aggressive community of practice of field school trainers, because I am not sure whether the investment projects or programs were aware of the availability of the community, of the master trainers in their communities of operation or in their jurisdictions. And if they were not aware of the presence of those, then there could be a problem, could have been a problem in selecting who participate in the training of field school participants. So there is need to aggressively build a community of field school trainers so that they know each other. And therefore, also the field school, the investment projects, the investment projects, we need to create awareness of the investment projects on the availability of these personnel in communities. They should know who is near, who is in which community, and so on and so on. And therefore, it will be easier for them to contact if need arises. And that is building a database of all, an up-to-date database of all community farmer field school trainers at national level, at a district level, at regional level, even at smaller community levels. It helps the investment projects to locate who is the nearest field school trainer in this community, yeah, in case they need urgent help. Of course, we are already on the way towards that because we have the websites in place, and I know that FSH is building a robust database of the field school trainers, master trainers, and so on. And then the other thing, of course, that will help in promoting sustainability. You see, when there's a training and the investment project fails to get an appropriate person to engage in that training, then because they are supposed to conduct training, they will definitely get anybody. They will get anybody to engage in that training. Yes, because they have an activity to implement. So that database is very important, and database should be made public to all master trainers and all the investment programs and so on. And then the other thing is that we need to realize that there is need for an urgent creation of awareness, even within the AFAS and the East African Field School Hub, on the urgent need to build the capacity of the entire field school actors. The entire field school actors, because the core the study measured on were the field school trainers and the managers. But we need to raise that awareness, the urgent need to build the capacity of the field schools, field school trainers. And this also involves, and this is associated with what AFAS, the East African Hub is doing right now, and AFAS, the trainers that have been deployed to field schools to help build their capacity, provide backstopping and so on. This is a very good strategy that AFAS and the Hub is already implementing. Yeah, that strategy should be enhanced more, should be developed more, and then probably scaled up and out Yeah, because it's a good strategy, very good strategy. It addresses, optimal addresses what the study identified. And it constitutes one of the recommendations of the study. Yeah. And then now, based on those my presentation, I may have skipped other things because of we're not caught off guard by others. I would like the audience to react to my presentation. I thank you for listening. Hello?
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Agole.
Thank you.
Yeah, your presentation is well received, well articulated. I will just ask the members to put either their questions in the chat box or to raise up their hand. Hello?
Edwin?
Yes?
Edwin, before
Yes,
they
Dr.
react, maybe one additional thing is that the team that is participating in the current capacity building of the support the investment projects is a very critical team, because you remember that because of the COVID-19 interference, we only generated data from the master trainers, and we did not get any data from the investment programs. And therefore, while they are doing what they are doing now, we generating a questionnaire, I would say it's even ready, that we shall be able to administer, that is a focus group, kind of an interview, an in-depth interview, to gather information from the investment program managers. That information we shall use to back up, to supplement the quantitative data that we have organized so far. But data, we shall use a kind of a SWOT analysis approach to identify the strengths, the weaknesses, opportunities, and the threats that exist within the investment programs, so that we'll be able to identify the gaps, the training gaps, the monitoring and evaluation gaps, the personnel gaps, and that will help us reinforce the findings we have so far. That will further inform our capacity development plan. Thank you.
You're most welcome. So members, you are free to raise your questions. From Daniel Baha, what was the third domain? That one, I think.
That one is for
Nathan will answer that one.
Yeah, but can I ask Dr.
Please go ahead.
Yes,
many thanks, Dr. for that wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Your last statement was capacity building and capacity assessment must be across the board for all actors.
Right.
What comes to my mind is that program level needs to be looked into, and then the master trainers themselves at country level, do they have the capacity? And I think finally we are talking of the community-based facilitators as well as the groups themselves. I stand to be corrected. I think your presentation was a bit heavy at much more at the community level. Is this by default or it was desired to be that way? Then the second one is, what were your findings on matters sustainability of the groups? Do the farmers involved in these programs, according to this assignment, have the capacity to sustain or to ensure sustainability of the groups beyond the program level? Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So the first question was on the emphasis on the community-based level. No, it wasn't just wasn't on a community level, wasn't always emphasized, because let's look at this in this way. Okay, let's look at the regional level and look at the country level to be, hello? Hello? Let's look at it. In other words, we need to build the capacity of the trainers at different levels. One, we can look at the national level. But when we look at the national level, it can be deceitful because the trainers in Kenya may be more, their capacity may be more developed than those of Uganda and Rwanda. So you need, that's a meso level. So we can come down to a national level, which I may call micro level. So that you ensure that in each country we have the capacity of field school trainers developed. But again, within the country, we can go down and look at a regional level, look at a district level, whatever, I don't know, whatever geographical naming or nomenclature a country may have. We need to come down to the lower level so that we can zone a country. For example, Uganda, we can look at the central region, can look at the eastern region, can look at the far east, you can look at the west, you can look at the north, you can again look at the West Nile. So that if you can look at, if you are doing training in West Nile and say, who is the nearest person in West Nile? Again, in the West Nile, if you can say, who is the nearest person within Arua or Zombo district, for example. So we need to come down to the lowest level to build a niche of trainers, field school trainers, so that whenever there is need, it is just easy to locate someone. It may be difficult to call someone from Karamoja to come and facilitate training in Zombo, but if there's someone within Zombo or within West Nile, it is just easier to say, please, there's training here, can you engage in this training? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. And then the other one was on the sustainability of the field schools. Currently, the sustainable level of field school is low. One thing I did not mention is that there is a gap in financial savings and mobilization. Now, reliance on external funding can be a problem. Now, if these field school groups are trained how to mobilize, how to save and how to mobilize funds amongst themselves or from other sources, even when external funding ceases, they'll be able to support themselves, because the major problem in these groups is to get money to buy inputs and so on. So if they can generate their own savings, or mobilize savings among themselves, from within themselves or from out, then they'll be able to sustain themselves. That's usually the major thing. And that is also one of the gaps that was in place, financial savings and mobilization in farmer groups. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. Just my own personal observation before I allow Nathan. Okay. I think we've been focusing so much on the use of emails for communication and correspondence. I've been doing my own personal research. Most of these master trainers, they check their emails once a week. They go to a cyber cafe, check. Not everybody has a laptop in the house. I've also realized very few of them have synchronized their email services, be it Gmail, Yahoo, to their phone. So most of the time when you send some of these questionnaires, it goes to the spam folder, stays there for 90 days, and as usual, it will be cleaned out. So we think maybe as we populate our database, we need to think of which other better way can we be able to reach out to facilitators in the field, and also to these community-based facilitators who do not even have emails. That was just my wide thinking. Nathan, over to you.
Thank you very much, Edwin. Mr. Baha, I do not know exactly which domain you missed, but I'm assuming that you missed to capture the natural domain. And the natural domain is built on the angle. Is that the one you missed?
Yes, the natural domain. Huh?
Yes.
Thank you.
So the
That
natural
was the
domain. Okay, so to go briefly, it's built from the skill perspective of the participants being able to analyze processes and systems, being able to do management and agro-ecosystem analysis. That should be able to lead us to farmers being able to experiment on their own with the adapted practices. And that should be able to lead to issues to do with improved food production, issues to do with the crop diversification. And the end result that we want to see is sustainability of production systems generally. So that's what the natural domain mainly highlights. Back to you, Edwin.
Thank you, Nathan. Very clear.
Thank you. So Nathan, next week we expect a good presentation from you and even some reference documents that we can share to all the members.
Yes, so that should be coming next week.
Okay. Without much further ado, maybe I will relay this one to Mr. Olupot. I don't know whether Sebastian, you have something to tell us. Sebastian is the project manager for ACRE.
Yeah. Before Sebastian, we I think Esther, this is the time you could make an appeal on the e-learning. If you can just spend 2 minutes to talk about the e-learning that you are leading, and perhaps members could give you a quick feedback. Just 2 minutes, Esther. Dr. Muindi. She may be in another meeting. It's okay. Okay, thank you so much. I think
No, she's responded.
Oh, I might not be able. That's fine. We wanted you just to say 1 or 2 things about the e-learning that you're leading. Then still Esther and Dr. Agole, we have a concept note from FAO headquarters. We need to give feedback so that I send to YAP. They want us to organize some meeting in Uganda on curriculum development. Therefore, again, Jennifer Anopio will be very critical in that for Uganda. Definitely in touch with the Baha and everyone, Biashara, people who are on the ground as the master trainers. Your role is going to be very critical now because you will have to provide input in everything we are doing, including questioning, not really questioning, but supporting some of the consultancies. For example, the agribusiness who needs to be tuned as well. So let me allow Dugu Sebastian to greet you, then we close the meeting.
Thank you.
Sebastian, just proceed.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
very
we
well,
can
Sebastian.
hear.
Good. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I don't have a lot to say, Max, but I was really interested in this session when I saw the message on the group because of the linkage or possible linkages with the assessment that was done by AFAS under the ACRE project, which also looked at capacity development and capacity needs assessment. So that was my reason for joining in, because I'm also quite interested in understanding the needs at the different levels. So I'm looking forward to seeing the full reports, hearing more about the capacity assessment and even the MND framework next week. like I said, I don't have many comments, but just to say I've been following on the groups, the great work that's been done by the Farmer Field School groups and the Farmer Field School practitioners. Also to apologize, we had discussed that Akre could also make a presentation at some point, and the last few weeks have been quite busy for us, but I'm sure we can discuss offline on when we can schedule that. To agree with some of the comments from the guest, Dr. Baha, that the needs need to be understood across the spectrum, from the farmers themselves to the facilitators to the extension agents. If we can understand all those needs and the gaps, then we can really make an impact. It's not just one group that we can really focus on. Yeah, and also just to mention, we're also looking at opportunities. Someone mentioned, I think it was Edwin, the communication challenges. So we're also looking at how we can reach out to farmer field school groups and other practitioners. And we've been conducting surveys, for example, and trying to register farmer field school groups and their contact numbers, asking, do they have WhatsApp? What do they prefer? Do they prefer radio? Do they prefer email? What about listeners groups? So yeah, we are also interested in some of the assessments and thoughts that you are doing, and maybe at some point we can share some of our findings as well. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for letting me speak. And yeah, I'm really glad to listen into these presentations when I can.
Thank you so very much, Sebastian. And you know, as I mentioned, Sebastian is one of the champions, our very good ally in terms of driving the field school agenda forward. And I'm also happy to report to you that, to Sebastian, that remotely we are following up with Akre, because we are working with Andrew in Uganda, and we had planned to go to Isingiro and Zimbabwe where we had done the studies. And indeed, again, our plan is to see how we link these groups also with the master trainers whom we recruited, so that we build the synergy and we support each other through the projects that are ongoing now, and also those ones that will come. So that partnership is moving on, and we are sure we can build our efforts together and deliver. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you, especially the consistent participants like Aroma, Daniels, and all of you for being very active. And also to appeal to the master trainers that this is the time you become very innovative beyond your terms of reference. Innovate, and let's move beyond what we expected to do to support all elements of the field school in the region. And I know other regions will be definitely contacting us, so let's also be open to share these experiences with them, so that we build a fraternity, another generation of the field school champions, which will move this very noble approach forward, not only in East Africa, not only in Africa, but globally. So thank you so much, and have a good working day as we get to other engagements and we remain networked. Thank you.
Thank you too, Max.
So for the master trainers, we had agreed that we stay for 30 minutes. Can we still stay back? Edwin?
No problem.
Or 20 minutes or 15.
Or 15.
The rest, if you
15.
if you are busy, you can leave, but this is also open to everybody, so that because they are going to be sharing their experience, so it's also an open forum for all of us.
Let's just put our faces there. I just want to see the good faces that have endured all this time. We congratulate you so much.
Jennifer.
Edwin?
Yes?
You can unmute my video.
I think
yourself.
Now I've unmute everybody.
No, just click on the video.
Try again.
Yeah, there you are. You have to pay. I will send you an invoice for teaching you that. Oh.
Hello? Hello?
No.
Hello.
Hello?
Patrick,
Hello?
I hope you are not giving us a closing prayer now.
I'm going to the field. I'm joining our first inbox. So I'm
Okay. I think Edwin, while you take the photo, I'm happy. Joseph,
and
how is Rwanda?
Joseph Ijiro is there, you know.
Joseph, you have to bring you are now supervising Lucy. She's the consultant on the policy. So you are responsible because you speak the same language, Joseph.
Yeah, sure.
Joseph, a pleasure meeting with you.
Yeah, thank you.
We need more sessions on Twigiri Muhinzi.
Yeah.
Please, we'll make sure you do that presentation.
Yeah, sure.
So,
thank you.
I
think that is great.
You're done with it.
I'm good, and you?
Yes, I'm done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So we have Jennifer Opio must have dropped. Where is JP? After the video is off.
His battery went down.
Okay. I think the reason we wanted to touch base with the master trainers is basically to hear from you how you are progressing. Like I mentioned, there is a lot of innovating around this assignment. It's not very straightforward, but there are a lot of emerging issues that need a lot of your attention. So ours was more about Jennifer and Opio had volunteered to share their first experience. Maybe Jennifer, you want to mention a few things in some 3 minutes, then we can have a quick discussion. We are still Nathan, is Nathan dropping? No. Nathan, you still have the issue of your volunteers who are asking you. You've got them, but they are not working. So what are they supposed to do? So you're supposed to engage them strongly, innovate with them, and let them help us to get the data and anything that we need from the field. Over to Jennifer for now, as a representation of Jennifer and Daniel actually are here. You could just tell us how you are progressing, how we can move together.
Thank you very much. Do I leave on the video or I switch off?
For now, you
okay.
The choice is up to you now.
Okay, I hope I'm loud and clear. Like Max correctly said, we want to share so that we move at the same pace. So far, on the Uganda team, we are progressing well. I want to take this opportunity to thank Max because right now our team, we've already received our payment, and it is important to know what is happening to other people in the other areas as well. The next action is we are going to collect data in the field. That is what we are going to do next. So we felt that we want to know whether we are moving at the same pace and if there are any other challenges so that we move together as a group. Can we hear maybe from Kenya and Tanzania so that we know how you're moving? Over to you, Max.
So, Daniel, the super star.
Yes. On behalf of the Kenyan team, we want to say we're moving very well with the guidance of Edwin. despite him having that big hitch or small hitch, he was still hand-holding us. But as a team in Kenya, we had zoned ourselves. I was handling the lower part, the coastal part, Kilifi, Kwale, and also crossing to Mwingi and Kitui. At personal level, I have interacted with the CPC, the county program coordinators for the NARIC project of Kilifi, Kwale, and also went a little bit overboard and interacted with the Migori, because I am in Migori as I speak to you now. But let me say that in my interaction, I observed the following things: that one, the NARIC program at the national level has what we call a team of panel of experts. Unfortunately, the team of experts is only on the value chains, which we are dealing with here in the country, as and it's different for different counties. But what I want to say is that while they were able to find the value for a POE, a panel of experts on the other value chains, they somehow forgot the panel of experts on farmer field schools at the national level. The number of counties that I have interacted with, either through the phones or one-on-one meeting, it is only in Migori where they cascaded the idea of having a panel of experts mainly on farmer field school. So we have that maybe as a lesson learned or something that we can learn from. In my interaction with the POEs and the ground level, just to agree with Dr. Agole, there is still a weakness on the problem analysis, problem identification, which is also tied up to PTD designing and layout. So that is really something that we need to think about as a hub. I have been able to get two key players who are interested in former field school, the World Food Program. I may be interacting with them next week, God willing. And the other one is World Vision, which I am yet to really get to know what they want. But the World Food Program, actually, they want to have what we call a refresher training on former field school, which I'm happy to report that Wilson Odori is on that in terms of the master trainer for that training. Finally, I think one of the asks from your end, especially Nathan, you had promised to give us the draft document. I hope maybe next week after your presentation, you will share that will be able to guide us. But I will want to concur with Jennifer that these weekly meetings will also be good for us to be sharing on what is on the ground. Otherwise, I think as a team from Kenya, we are good to go. Next week, we will be able to have a Zoom meeting between myself, Edwin, and Biashara, so that we can be able to know who will be where and doing what. Finally, in terms of the tools that we got from Nathan or from the project in terms of getting to understand what is happening, for us master trainers, not much of a problem, but I think we need to have a linkage with the research assistants. We need to be guided. Where are we in terms of those ladies and gentlemen in terms of their engagement? Because the guy in Kilifi has been calling me whether there is word, and I had promised to fall back to him when we have this meeting. Thank you. Over to you.
Thanks. I don't know whether Madam Biashara can respond to that, and then we finish with the Kenyan team. Then Biashara, can you hear me? Okay, Max and the team. The challenge we've been having in Kenya is basically how to integrate in the other works that are currently being done by KEFAS. In as much as we will really want to have Peter on board, I've also realized that, correct me where I'm wrong, he's operating more like a lone ranger, and he doesn't really have that nice country support staff, so that when he's away, somebody else can take over. So it has become very hard to engage with Peter. And that's why we tend now to work with Baha and Biashara to see what we can be able to accomplish within this short notice. But if there was a good structure on the ground through KEFAS, it would have been very easy even for these master trainers to be going through KEFAS. Over to you.
Okay. Okay. So number one is the Nathan. We need the assistants working. For me, I think these guys should work. The only thing is that we're trying to get the formalization of things, you know. So they should continue working, and we just get them their simple appointment letters. We have that is already approved by also HQ. I was worried when we started before the approval, so that for now we've secured the approvals. I'm happy for that. So I think, Nathan, you need to again send the emails of those guys and the contacts, so that we just do. You can actually draft a simple appointment letter like research assistants. You don't need it. You know, the team here wanted to do a contract for this small thing. These guys need a letter which they can show, and they work under the master trainers. That should be the arrangement to move things quickly.
Sure.
So for KEFAS, I think Peter has been overwhelmed, but I will let him know that he needs to be engaging. There are also 3 people who are working with him, including Mercy, Buru, then Sylvia. So Sylvia could really, CIKM could be part of this, but I want Peter himself, because field school is not about everyone. It's about to first to know what it is, so that you really have an idea of what you're talking about. So for Peter, yes, we shall. But also Edwin, we need to activate the Tanzanian group. I'm not seeing the Tanzanian guy William here. We need to.
I was unable to join. I'm still having a problem with the Burundi guy. He started off very well. Then somebody told him, no, this thing is fake. I gave him all the copies, told him, take them to Prosper, because I get in touch with Prosper almost on a daily basis. Prosper is the Director General. And you were with him even in Addis during that, the mail framework.
Yeah.
So somehow he has developed cold feet. He was told this thing is fake.
Anyway, we need a call with him. We need to organize a call with him. Yeah. So you write an email and let's say link with him. We discuss, we can bring Prosper on board or any other. You know, we met people in Burundi. The team there, we could meet senior people who could support him.
Exactly.
And also Nathan had identified the assistant. So we need to link them up. So now every assistant or those assistants should be working closely with the master trainer, so that we quickly move with this. This is only 1 month or 1.5. So a lot of things must be done within this month and early next month. Okay.
We will.
Then I don't know, but kindly confirm with Sumaya whether Daniel and Esther and Biashara have been facilitated. They got the contract signed.
I was about to ask that, because I cleared most of those all the master trainers who sent their inception report and the request. I did that, and this at the same time with the Jennifer Nopio, I think. So
because I know that the Tanzanian guy has got it. He has gotten it.
So you see,
Yeah.
Daniel, did you
I will
send the
check with
invoice?
bank today. I will check with my bank today, sir.
Okay,
And
very good.
invite everybody for lunch.
Okay, you check and send me a WhatsApp. Let me know. Just send a
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
I will.
And
I will. I will.
Before 1 p.m. so that we don't buy our own lunch.
Sawa.
we need everyone from our side. We need to make you facilitated. We only request you to do your work. So we need to make things flow from this side as fast as possible.
Thank you for that assurance, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Baha, I think the biggest issue has been how these people would be working without them even having a clear appointment and them understanding what they're supposed to do. But we discussed with Max, and he has been cleared that they can begin to work, and they'll receive their facilitation as they are working. So we shall then engage with them probably to share with us their maybe account details, or we find ways of transferring money, and then so that they are able to receive their pay. But it's you are very free to start engaging them. I think you have all their details in terms of contacts, but I can also write an email just to inform them to get in touch with you so that they can be able to work. Your main role is really to support them, to supervise them as they are able to collect the necessary information that we want. But FAO is interested in us documenting these investment programs as case studies. So we believe that the tools that I shared are adequate enough to be able to give us information in relation to these case studies. We've progressed so much with Uganda, and I'm happy to hear that Jennifer and JP will be moving we'll be moving forward with contacting the investment programs in Uganda, so that we have a comprehensive case study and success story document at the end of this activity. So we shall also try to get in touch with Tanzania and Burundi. The challenge now is if these guys of Burundi are considering this to be fake, then we are in trouble. Yeah. Otherwise, I think they can begin working, and for us, it is just to see how we facilitate them with their pay as they work.
Thank you.
You talked about. I've already shared what I consider as a draft. It's not the final one, but I'll be working on having a final document. But for now, you can begin reading through that document to understand the kind of indicators that we are interested in responding to, and generally what that document entails us to have in terms of our knowledge and capacity.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Did you receive the document, Mr. Baha?
Contract?
No, the mail, the draft.
You sent it through the WhatsApp?
Email.
To my email?
Yes. I copied. I think the only person I did not copy is Madame Biashara. I think I also did not copy JP, but I shared it to you. I think I shared to Jennifer. I shared to Fred William.
When
I
was
shared
this?
to that should be yesterday or the other day.
I've not yet received.
Yes.
Check your email.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So briefly, that's from me.
So Nathan, may you kindly reshare the tours for these research assistants with all the master trainers so that they understand what they are supposed to do. But as I mentioned, you see, we are operating in a very short time. Therefore, the tour is there, but engaging even those research assistants beyond what they are supposed to do is the best way. Innovate with them, and let's make them do some work. Otherwise, we may pay some people for not doing anything. So we need that. And we want to welcome Andrew Ating. He joined late. I know it's been a lot of meetings happening. So Andrew, just say hi and we close the meeting. Now you're closing by saying hi.
Greetings to everyone. Sorry, Max, we have been caught up in some issues here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No problem. We discussed about Accra. Sebastian was online, and we need to see how we synergize. And I'm also happy that you and Paul Mutungi, you are championing from the FAO side. We are the concerns, of course, about some FAO teams that are still holding the field school like the FAO thing. So we are happy to have you and Paul to be advocates for the hub and the team here to widen the net of the field school to be more institutionalized to other actors than only being a butter and bread from FAO. So thank you, Andrew, for those efforts. We shall definitely be engaging the higher authorities on how they can strongly engage with the hub as their baby. So, ladies and gentlemen, unless
an interjection, Max, on a standing order, there's supposed to be a training by World Bank, I think, on 5th and 6th this week, which I think you discussed with JAP and I think Engineer Kato. Is there a way Jennifer and the JP could also be linked up to that kind of training, even Dr. Agole?
That's what I was talking about, the concept note. You know, I've been in the field and I lost him. I still have about 200 and something emails to read. So I need a quick feedback on most of the things I've shared to you with you guys, including that concept note that I need. We need Dr. Agole and Dr. Muindi to respond. It's more about curriculum development and e-learning. So the two are critical in that. Of course, the rest of us should do. I will get in touch. We need to get in touch with the YAP to see the progress and how we engage.
Max. Hello.
Hello.
Max. I responded to the concept note and the YAP replied.
Oh.
So he actually submitted it, but his response was that that FAO or World Bank is not conducting any trainings, residential trainings because of the COVID-19. So I was asking you what we needed to do, which method we need to devise to engage the training.
Okay. Yeah. So David, can you? I will have to look for those emails and get back to JAP. Of course, definitely all the master trainers, if it is online, then we all join. That would be an advantage. Normally online, we could all join and give our views in such a training.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, could you, David, could you send that email and copy it to everyone here, just for information?
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Agole.
Hello, Max.
Okay.
Can
Hello?
I go ahead?
Go.
Yes, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank Nathan. I was able to share on the radio and say something about the Farmer Field School, and I'm really very proud of Nathan for helping the hub to show the world that the hub exists and that the Farmer Field Schools is the way to go. And number two, I'm glad to note that we are now moving at the same pace, because now the next action is data collection. And so we are going to make sure we go to the field, and whether it is online or physically going there, we are going to collect all the necessary information that we require. And I also want to thank Edwin and Max for giving us this extra 15 minutes, which is very important to us. Thank you. We really appreciate. Thank you. Back to you, Max.
Yeah, thank you. This is the core of our work because this is now the driving group. This group here is the secretariat and everything in the hub. And again, I also want to say thank you. I had to call NASA and that get in touch with one of the trainers, but we should thank more Patrick Aroma because the program was initiated by him. So that is a champion we need to mold into the field school really championship. So, but thank you everybody, Nathan and Jennifer, for accepting to share your experience. That is what we should be doing, and as I mentioned, we should be innovative enough to react to anything that comes our way as a way of showing our value as a hub and a field school fraternity. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we should stop here now.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
But we can continue our engagement in that empty platform.
Yeah.
I'll be adding Timothy and this lady from Rwanda, Lucy. Yes. So that we continue our discussion. Even Madam Esther will add her now to the MT group.
Yeah.
Tamwindi.
Okay.
Okay then.
Okay. Thank you
guys. Thank you.
Please, in case there are any challenges with the field data collection, feel free to share, and we see how we can be able to support each other.
Okay.
Thank you. Edwin, are you doing any ritual, or we can say bye-bye?
This is bye-bye. This is internal. Just bye.
Okay.
Mm.